Hello, people of the internet. It is I, GareBear890, back again with another video. Alright, so it is now 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. But before we can go on, we have to talk about the best games of 2021. So that's what I'm going to do. This is my top 10 2021 games list. And to start us off, I have 3 honorable mentions. First of which is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I was a little hesitant because I'm like, well, it's not technically a new game, but it came out last year. So I'm like, oh, I at least gotta talk about it because it's a phenomenal game. I loved it then, I loved it now. And I was really excited about this because now I can appreciate the incredible graphic style in HD. And the option of having the motion controls or not is a very welcome one. And yeah, I certainly had a blast playing this when it came out. And then we have Returnal. I picked this up over Black Friday, so I had a chance to start it, but I haven't finished it yet. But it is very impressive. Like, graphically, it looks phenomenal, very atmospheric, and just like a really intriguing game where you want to figure out what happened and what's going on. So I am looking forward to delving deeper into this for sure. And then my third honorable mention is Forza 5, which I played through Game Pass, and it's an incredible game. I love cars, and they just have hundreds of cars that you can drive, and the graphics are just absolutely mind-blowing. Just the amount of detail and how beautiful the cars look. And just everything you can do in that game, it's really it's huge, and so I barely scratched the surface on that, but it definitely deserves a shout out. Okay, now getting to the actual list, starting us off at number 10 is Mario Golf Super Rush. I love golf in real life, and I love golfing games. I played a ton of Toadstool's Tour with my buddies back in the day, so I was really looking forward to this. And it's good, but it was definitely bare bones at launch. Like, I played through the little campaign, adventure thing at the beginning, and it was fun, but pretty short. And anyways, they have added a couple more courses, a couple more modes, so hopefully they'll continue with that, and it will just get better and better. But overall, it is fun, especially multiplayer. Okay, and number 9 is The Medium, which I played on Game Pass. And it is a very creepy, atmospheric game. And it's more of like a narrative-driven game where you're trying to figure out what happened. And it was intriguing. It was one that, just like Returnal, was like, what happened? What's going on? I wanna figure this out. And so if you get a chance, I highly recommend that one. It's not too long. But it was really well done. And number 8, we got Call of Duty Vanguard, which I did pick up on Black Friday for $42. But then, with getting such a great deal, my plan was play the short campaign, which is the only part I'm really interested in, and then sell it to the next person, and there you go. So that's what I did. But I have to say, I felt like for a Call of Duty game, it was one of the better campaigns. Like, it had some really cool set pieces, really cool locations, and I really liked how the story tied together, and it was just a fun, interesting experience. Okay, now moving on to number 7, another Game Pass entry, Halo Infinite. I love Halo. I have been playing since Halo 1, like most of us. And so I was really looking forward to see what Halo Infinite was all about. And it's different, that's for sure. Like, initially, with it being an open world game, I was like, this doesn't really feel like Halo. But once you get going and, doing more of the story missions, then it was like, okay, this is starting to feel more like Halo. And overall, I enjoyed it. I really liked the grapple, and some of the new guns were really cool. So there's that. And then, number 6, another Game Pass, I love Game Pass, was Psychonauts 2. So I bought the original Psychonauts and played that a couple years ago. Really enjoyed it, had fun with it, and that was that. I wasn't really expecting a Psychonauts 2. I don't think anybody was, but boom, we got it, and it was definitely worth it. It was really cool because it's one of those games where they built from the foundation of the first and just made it better and more refined and way bigger. And yeah, there was just so much to do. The story was really intriguing and interesting, and then going into people's minds and trying to help them and figure out what the issues are. Like, it's just a really unique series. So, yeah, number 6, Psychonauts 2. Number 5 is It Takes Two. Which won Game of the Year. I was really surprised by that. I wasn't expecting that. But it deserves it because it is a phenomenal game. I really like this studio, Hazelight. I played Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which is a great game. And then I got A Way Out, and I played that with one of my good friends, and we had a blast. Because it was one of those things where they could just change the mechanics slightly, and it made it feel like a fresh experience, like a new experience, but you're playing the same game. And that's basically what they did with this. Like every single area and chapter, they just had all these new mechanics that would just totally change how you played the game, but it kept the story going. And so yeah, this is just like one of the best co-op games I've ever played. Me and my friend had a really good time playing this. And I actually got it for a couple of friends of mine for Christmas because I was like, this is just like a perfect co-op game, and everybody should give it a go if they can. Okay, number 4. This is a phenomenal game that blew everyone's mind. Everyone's mind. Metroid Dread. I am a diehard Metroid fan. I grew up with it, basically, because my brother had it on the NES and the Game Boy. And, of course, we had Super Metroid, and I watched him play those, and I was just always so intrigued and thought it was so cool. And so, yeah, once I could finally play them and do well at them, I'd never look back. And so I was super excited about Metroid Dread. This was probably the game I was most excited for last year. And it definitely did not disappoint. It's definitely the hardest Metroid game, that's for sure. At least for me. But it's one where it forced you to get better. You would adapt and you would change your techniques and you would memorize moves. And so initially some bosses just seemed so daunting and like, how am I ever going to defeat this boss? And then when you did it, like, you just totally destroyed them. And so that's just always a cool feeling. And the story was awesome as usual, and the music and the atmosphere, just everything was there to make another great Metroid game. Okay, then we got number 3, Little Nightmares 2. So I was a huge fan of the first one. I listen to the soundtrack to this day because it's just so hauntingly beautiful. And so I wasn't expecting this one, actually. Hoping for it, but, I was surprised when they announced it. And I picked it up day one and was not disappointed in the slightest. I love it when you have these games that they build off of the foundation of what made the original so great and just add to it. And that's what they did with this one. They added combat into it. They added new enemies, obviously new areas, and of just an incredible story. Just talking about it makes me want to pop it in and just start playing again, which I probably will do. So yeah, number 3, Little Nightmares 2. And then number 2, Resident Evil Village. Huge Resident Evil fan, been playing for many, many years, and I've enjoyed just about every single one of them. So I was really excited about this one, and it didn't disappoint me. Most of these games on this list didn't disappoint me. That's why they're on the list. But this one, it was awesome because I felt like it combined Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 4, and then a bit of the originals. Because 7, I felt like they tried to get back to the roots a bit of the horror aspect of it and did a really good job. And so anyways, yeah, this one just had a feel of old school and new school, I guess. And yeah, it was an awesome game. Really interesting story. Really cool locations. Some awesome boss fights. And definitely one of my favorites. All right, number one, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is the game that all PS5 owners were looking forward to. And before its launch, I had only played Ratchet and Clank 2016, so the remake slash reimagining of the first one. I own every single Ratchet and Clank game, but I hadn't played them, just collected them. And so I was like, you know what? I want to get the best experience I can with this one, and I think to do that, I need to play the freaking games. So that's what I did. I played all of the Ratchet and Clank games on console in order, and it was a blast. And I was just the only part that I was sad about was that I hadn't done it earlier, because it's a phenomenal series that a lot of people love. And anyways, I'm glad I did, because then I was fully prepared and ready to go with this one, and it was just as good as I could have hoped for. Incredible graphics, just absolutely blew me away. I have to say that I really feel like we have reached like Pixar level with this one. Just the lighting, the textures, everything going on in the background. It's all so seamless, and just a beautiful game. And one of my favorite parts is just it took full advantage of the DualSense and also, the 3D audio and all those cool features that come with the PS5. Like it used all of those that make it even more immersive. So yeah, that's why I decided this was my number one game. I had so much fun from beginning to end, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Hopefully it's sooner than later. But yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for my top 10 2021 games. Let me know, what are some of your favorites? Which ones should I play? There was a lot of them. So yeah, let me know. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, have a good one.